Angela Rayner's alleged request for staff to assist with her move into a Whitehall property is not just a minor issue. It is a glaring example of entitlement that undermines the integrity of public office. Reports indicate that the Labour Minister instructed her staff to transport furniture and even help with cleaning the accommodation. If these claims are substantiated, it raises serious questions about her judgment and adherence to the ministerial code, which is designed to uphold ethical standards in government. The complaint, lodged by Tory MP Paul Holmes, has been directed to the Director of Propriety and Ethics at the Cabinet Office and the Permanent Secretary of Rayner's department. Holmes argues that if Rayner did indeed ask her staff for assistance with a personal move, it would constitute a clear breach of the ministerial code. The code is explicit. Ministers are appointed to serve the public and must ensure that their actions do not create any potential conflicts of interest. By allegedly using civil service resources for her personal benefit, Rayner is not only compromising her own integrity but also setting a dangerous precedent for those in power. Holmes's complaint highlights the fundamental responsibilities that come with public office. It states that public officials must avoid placing themselves under any obligation to individuals or organizations that could influence their work. When a minister appears to exploit their position for personal convenience, it raises alarm bells. How can we trust a government that allows its ministers to bend the rules for their benefit? Such behavior is unacceptable and should be met with swift and decisive action. If Rayner is found to have misused public resources for her personal relocation, Holmes has suggested she should be billed for the civil service time incurred during the move, calculated at private sector rates. This is a reasonable demand. Taxpayers should not be responsible for funding a minister's personal errands. The expectation is clear. Public servants must adhere to the same standards they impose on others. Moreover, this is not the only example of questionable conduct among Labour ministers. In recent weeks, other cabinet members have faced scrutiny for similar breaches of the ministerial code. Foreign Secretary David Lammy has been criticized for delivering a politically charged speech through official channels, a violation of the rules that prohibit the use of government resources for party political purposes. Similarly, Environment Secretary Steve Reed has been accused of delivering biased speeches that lack the objectivity expected of public officials. This pattern of behavior raises serious concerns about the integrity of the current government. The Labour Party is currently trying to establish itself as a credible alternative to the Conservatives, yet these allegations of misconduct threaten to undermine that effort. If ministers cannot be held accountable for their actions, how can the public trust them to govern effectively? This situation is not simply about individual ministers. It reflects a broader culture within the party that must be addressed. It is imperative for the Labour Party to take these allegations seriously and conduct a thorough investigation into the conduct of its ministers. If Angela Rayner is found to have violated the ministerial code, there should be no hesitation in imposing appropriate penalties. The public must see that accountability is not just a buzzword but a reality in the halls of power. As the investigation unfolds, it is crucial for Rayner to be transparent about her actions. If there is any truth to the allegations, she must own up to it and demonstrate that she understands the seriousness of her position. The electorate is tired of the same old excuses and demands leaders who are committed to ethical governance. In conclusion, the allegations against Angela Rayner are a serious matter that cannot simply be brushed aside. If she has indeed instructed her staff to assist with her move, it represents a clear violation of the principles that underpin public service. The ministerial code exists to ensure that those in power act with integrity and accountability. The public deserves leaders who prioritize their responsibilities over personal convenience. It is time for the Labour Party to take a firm stance and demonstrate that it is serious about upholding the highest standards of governance. If not, it risks losing the trust of the very constituents it seeks to represent.